Hi, I'm Matt Frazier. I'm a board member at the Right Hand Foundation. So my background is in the nonprofit fundraising world. And so for about 22 years, I've worked with nonprofit organizations utilizing technology to raise money. And that really got me into working with all kinds of different sizes of nonprofits, everything from very small to very, very large organizations. But I had a heart for Christian ministries. And so over the course of this last 22 years, I got an opportunity to work with many amazing ministry organizations. And so the Right Hand Foundation obviously resonates with me in my work that I've done, but also personally because of this idea of secret giving, the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing. It to me is the essence of what generosity is. And so to me, that opportunity to serve in this way and to leverage the experience that I've had is an honor. So my calling, my spiritual calling, is to unlock global generosity. And this was a word that I received from the Lord years ago. And it really comes from the feeding of the 5,000. And in the book of John, it recounts where Andrew says to Jesus, how are we going to feed all of these people? There's, at least 5,000 men. They say potentially upwards of 10,000 people that came out of the city in the first century Palestine to literally hear Jesus speak. And what's amazing about it is a pastor once said to me, he said, did Jesus create matter from no matter? Did he literally have a bag of bread and fish? Or did something really amazing happen that day? So Andrew said, how are we going to feed these people? And a boy brings his 5 loaves and his 2 fish. If you think about what 5 loaves and 2 fish represent, they represent the food of potentially your entire family. I don't know too many people who eat 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish in a sitting. But to think that a boy, and the faith of a boy, to lift up and say, you can have all that I have, Jesus, because I believe that you can multiply it. And of course, he broke that bread, prayed, and they handed it out, and there were 12 basketfuls left over. And so the pastor said to me, and it struck me, what is the act that we do of giving that actually unlocks the generosity of others? Because people spend so much time and effort and energy in this world getting theirs, and they hoard it, right? And they say, well, you know what? I don't know if I'll have enough. It's scarce. There's not enough to go around. And so all these people, first century Palestine, there's no 7-Eleven, there's no Applebee's. And I believe that what God is doing in this world, and the calling that I have, is to show people that God is a God of abundance. And the system, the way the world is set up, is actually convincing us that these things are scarce. That's the calling that I have, and it extends through the Right Hand Foundation and being a part of these things to help people understand that you can let go to receive. In the Bible, Jesus is often telling people ahead of the miracles what he's about to do. And I think of Lazarus, and he comes and they're like, don't you know he's dead? And of course, Jesus says, pay attention to what I'm about to do. And what does he do? He calls Lazarus, his friend, out of the tomb. And you look at all the miracles that Jesus ever performed, and they were amazing miracles, but they made his name known. And so when I look at the Right Hand Foundation, I look at individual people that are following a calling in their life, like Danny and Camille, all wanting to serve the Lord, right? And if God is a father, we are children who are bringing him things, these gifts to him. And so what I hope comes out of it is that what I've seen happen throughout my years of faith is that God does amazing things in all areas when people follow him and choose to be obedient to him. And so one of the amazing things that the Right Hand Foundation, I think, will do is it will continue to build God's church by leading people into the understanding that he owns everything and they are merely stewards of what they have. And to literally usher them into an experience where they let go of the things that they are grasping onto and receiving so much more, which is the joy, not only of giving, but the abundance of life and peace ultimately, because I believe that the currency of God is ultimately in the peace that he provides when we rest in him. And so my hopes of the Right Hand Foundation is that it leads people to that understanding that there's way more joy and an incentive to be someone who is generous. And I think many people have never experienced that joy before. And I think that this is a catalyst for it.